My ribs, my ribs. Ward, I don't have any spare ribs.
Carl, you don't need spare ribs. You're just cooking spare ribs.
Oh, thanks a lot. Hi, I'm Chef Carl Food Whisperer YouTube, and today I'll be breaking down spare ribs into St. Louis ribs and rib tips. And we're going to have grilled corn and grilled pineapple. So thanks for joining me. We'll be right back.
Chef Carl, Food Whisperer, taking the mystery out of cooking.
Okay, today we'll be breaking down spare ribs into St. Louis ribs and into rib tips. Now I got some ribs that I've cooked already yesterday because I don't got so much stuff to go on the grill, and I also got some that I just cleaned this morning, and then we're going to go and break down a spare rib. So let's get it going. This is the spare rib broken down. You got the St. Louis ribs and the rib tips that you cut off, you go right to the cartilage. So we're going to put that on now, and I'm going to come back and show you how to break down the spare ribs. Yeah, I'm going to put the St. Louis rib and rib tips that I made onto the grill, and if you hear any wacky noises, they're doing construction in the background, they're building a house. So we'll get this party going. Okay. Got the whole slab of ribs. Got our rib tips on. This is sweet corn that I cleaned, put softened butter and cream cheese on and wrapped it up. So we're going to let those go a little bit. And now I'm going to show you how to cut the rib tips and the St. Louis ribs. So what I have here is a full rack of spare ribs. Weighs about 6 pounds. It only cost me about $12.50, so that's a bargain. I'm going to open it up. And there you have it. I like to pat the rib down. Get an excess liquid out. So, as I said, we're patting the rib down, get any excess moisture out. This here, on a beef, on a steer, it's called skirt steak, but it's still considered a skirt. And you can get the sinew off. Sometimes it's a pain in the rear end, but so now what we want to do, you see the bones here, find the end of the bones. Now this, got the breastbone here. We're going to cut the rest of these into rib tips. Now this is a little sinew, and I'm trying to get underneath it. giving me a hard time. Try this end. Usually I use a butter knife or like a little something flat. But if it gives you a hard time, they say you can always score it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to score this thing. So now I see the smoke coming, so we better turn over those rib tips in the rib, and then I'm going to show you how to finish this into St. Louis ribs. Starting to get some nice color. In a couple minutes, I'm going to put them on the top shelf, take the corn down, I'm going to put the other ribs on. So this is obviously too long. You want to square off the ribs. For more for rib tips. Now you have a nice rack for St. Louis ribs. You want to trim a little bit, fine, but this is pretty lean. I'm going to cut this. These are actually like little riblets. Now, I'm going to go back and move the ribs that we had, so I don't want to burn them. Now, I like to keep the heat about 350, 400 degrees. I'm going to let these cook and we'll baste them in a bit. I'm going to turn this side out real low. Put the corn there. Close it, let it do its thing. I'm going to season these up. This is some Weber's steaks spice seasoning. And this is just some seasoning I made with paprika, cumin, chili powder, garlic, coffee, I'd show you the whole recipe, but then I'd have to kill you. I'm just kidding. I would never do this. And you also have the option of making them ribs individual. So over to the grill I shall go. I've turned all the burners down, so it should be end up being about 350, 375. And you can do this just like you would with country ribs. Now, if for some reason you like them really tender, you can pre-bake these ribs for about 45 minutes or half hour in the oven and let them cool on and bring them out. That's the breastbone. Ward will be eating pretty soon. Close that down. Give it a little heat. Now I got some ribs here that I cooked yesterday and cooked them about 375 for about half an hour, 40 minutes covered, and then brought them outside and grilled them. There's the rib tips, and they do shrink down quite a bit. I mean, if you want them real tender. And there's your Canadian lava ribs. Now I'm going to be playing around moving stuff, juggling it, so I can get these on. And we'll probably finish the ribs later on in my kitchen, but these will be done. Turn the corn. So now, these are the ribs I put on first, and they're starting to brown up nicely. This Canadian ribs that I put on just now. This is the corn. Take a peek at this. Looking pretty good. Nice color. So you can't have ribs without sauce. So I took some orange marmalade and some tasty masterpiece. turn this on. So now I'm going to add a little Jack Daniels to our orange marmalade and tasty masterpiece. Ah, what the heck? Fill the bottle. I must have had that last night. Well, you can't really see the flame. Oh, there we go. Oh. I'm running out of space. So after I put, when smoke gets in your eyes, after I put the sauce on the top row of ribs, I'm going to put them in this here basket with my other ribs I had cooked. And it's always good if you can pre-cook the ribs. I know for about half an hour, 40 minutes in the oven, if you like them to fall off the bone tender. If not, they'll be cooked through and they'll be good. They'll just be not fall off the bone. So let's get some sauce on. Take these rib tips off. Oh. And now I got some pineapple wedges that I made. And I took the southern core stem out. So basically all we're doing is heating this up. And getting a little color on it. Close that up for a little bit. Okay, so now what I'm going to be doing is taking the ribs that are cooked, plating them up, putting the corn on, and then I'll get the pineapple and I'll add that too. And then Ward and I are going to have a feast. So nice slabs of ribs. I'll garnish with a little bit of that pineapple. We're going to put some corn on the cob on. When you're hot, you're hot. Like I said, I put butter and cream cheese. And then if you want, you can shake a little something on it. A nice rose garnish out of an orange. And if you want, nice and colorful. And folks, that's it. Spare ribs. St. Louis ribs from the spare ribs. The rib tips, grilled corn with butter and cream cheese on it, grilled pineapple, and I'll show you, in case you're wondering how you do this. You just take an orange and you go around and around and around and around and around. So once again, thank you for watching. This is Chef Carl saying thank you. Subscribe. Let me know if you want something. But really, I want to thank Ward for all the work he does. You know, all the people in the military and all the doctors and nurses and service people. Thank you and see you next time. That's all, folks.